YouTube, what's up? Wrong. I tried Google Stadia. I never thought that I would do that, but I did. And I must say, I am truly impressed. Wow. Google Stadia, as far as the tech is concerned, is very, very impressive stuff. I didn't really have a lot of doubt when it came to performance, especially when I got tons of reinforcement from Stadia fans. Shout out to my man Project Storm. Shout out to Doc Dark. Y'all praise Stadia highly. I've watched some of y'all streams under the Stadia. It looked really amazing watching it. So I didn't have any doubts on the performance of Google Stadia, right? My concern has always been the principles, right? But I'll get to that later. But I tried Google Stadia under the most minimalist of means, meaning that I'm playing Stadia on a TV, on my TV directly. It's a Sony Bravia 2017 model, a XBR 900E model, as a matter of fact. So it's pretty old. Now, as a matter of fact, also, I got a warning. Say, hey, your TV is not optimized to run Google Stadia. Did you want to try it? I said, yep, I want to try it anyways. And so I downloaded it, tried it, set it up, everything through my phone, all of that stuff, and connected my Xbox One controller actually to the to my TV via Bluetooth. So I connected this, right? I connected it to my TV via the Bluetooth, and holy crap, cycling through the menus, it was really responsive, which I was not really too surprised. Like I said, since I've seen, I've seen it. I've seen Google Stadia in action. Excuse me. But I still, experiencing it. It was still impressive tech, right? It's like, wow. There was no lag surfing through the menus. But then once I got into the game, there was a lot of lag. But the lag came from, I believe my lag came from probably either my TV being too old, or I'm running Google Stadia under a Wi-Fi connection. I'm thinking. I'm not sure. If I had to choose one, I'd say my TV, right? Because they give you a dongle anyways, and you don't connect Google Stadia, with an Ethernet cable. You have to connect it to a Wi-Fi. So I'm gonna say it's my TV. It's too old. It doesn't run it right. Because honestly, when I was playing the games on it, the only issue I had was it was really choppy, but the controller input was really responsive in spite of. So I don't. It's hard to explain it because it was like it was running at a really bad frame, but then at the same time it was really responsive. At the same time, it was weird. It's hard for me to explain it, but it just makes me think that it was probably most likely my TV. But I see the ton of potential in Google Stadia in terms of not needing a console in order to play games, right? But I tried to mitigate or troubleshoot the choppiness, right? So I went into Google Stadia settings and I toggled down the resolution from 4K to 1080p, tried it, still choppy. Then I brought it from 1080p to 720p, it was still choppy. So, but yet controller response was extremely responsive. Oh boy, I'm tripping. But anyways, uh, like I said, I see the potential. And it's like, holy crap. So I'm thinking, if I had a newer model TV, right? 2020 model TV or something like that, and I tried it, it would probably work flawlessly. It would probably work flawlessly. And that's impressive. The concern I got is when I was toggling through the resolution settings, right? And it had HDR. I turned that off too because I was just trying to run it at very minimal to see, if it would run smoother, but it didn't. But anyways, my concern is I was toggling through those settings, right? And at 4K, right? It said will take up to 20 gigabytes an hour. 20 gigabytes an hour. So then I turned it down, and then I seen the toggle for 1080p, and it said 12 gigabytes an hour. And then and then the last one was 720p, and I was like at 4 or 5 gigabytes an hour. And I'm like, holy crap, that's a lot of data. That's a lot. So if you wanted to get like a 2-hour session of gaming, man, you got it under 4K settings, man, you gobbling up tons of data. Tons. I'm like, man, I don't know about that, man. That's the thing. And I got unlimited internet because I'm a heavy internet user, right? But even my ISP would probably be looking at my my activity like, man, what the heck is this dude doing? Let's throttle him. Let's get him off of whatever he's doing, because he is sucking up a lot of data. That's what I'm thinking. And I ain't gonna lie, knowing that I'm gobbling up that much data it's kind of uncomfortable. It's like, man, I don't even feel like, man, the stuff that I could be doing. I could be downloading movies or something, you know what I'm saying? Or I can download tons of music, 20 gigs an hour. Holy crap. I don't see any justification for that. There's nothing to justify gobbling up that much data under, temporary entertainment purposes, right? Where now if you download movies at 4K, I can kind of get that, right? Because it's like it's yours, right? Or if you downloaded a game, it required 20 gigabytes or whatever. I can understand it, but like just streaming it, it's almost like you taking data, you're picking it up and you're throwing it in the trash or something like that. Like there's no return on all of that data you use, right? If that makes sense, what I'm trying to say. So that is one of the gripes that a lot of gamers have, is that on top of when you buying games, you don't own those games you buy. So say you decided to invest in Google Stadia because you wanted to play games and you didn't want to buy a console. You still are buying those games and you don't own them. On top of that, you bought those games and you have to stream them. You can't download them. You know what I mean? I do think down the line, if Stadia is around still, they will mitigate that. They will probably, give you a device where you're able to download those games. I mean, because that only makes sense. It doesn't really make sense to have Google Stadia in order to just stream the games instead of what I'm saying? Especially like if you buying games. If you buying games, I don't want to access them through stream. I want to download them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's it. That makes sense to me. But nevertheless, the technology in Google Stadia is outstanding. Like, it's impressive stuff. Like, it really is. Especially, like, if I had a TV that could, run Google Stadia pretty smooth, and I already had a controller that I can just connect to my TV and just start playing games without having to buy any hardware. No hardware from Google. No hardware from anybody. Use what I have existing that I already own, connected to my TV, and just start playing games. That is amazing. That is amazing. That's amazing. That is amazing. So yeah, I think Google Stadia gets a ton of crap. It gets a lot of crap because you playing under those circumstances, bro. You playing under an internet connection on games that you bought already, or if you wanted to get the the better service or whatever, you have to if you wanted you would have to pay the $10 a month, right? To play games at 4K and all of that stuff. It just kind of like at the end of the day, it just don't really add up. But say I didn't have Stadia Pro, right? And I just had just regular Stadia and I bought the games. It's still bad because I'm buying those games $60, $70 or whatever they're going to cost, right? and I don't own them, and I still have to stream those games. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense. Now, if you download them games, that might be different, but streaming them, it's like a no go. You know what I mean? It's like a no go. But downloading, that would make more sense, and it would give more incentive to buy in to Google Stadia for real. I personally like consoles, and I like hardware and all of that other stuff. So, and I'm just built on principle when it comes to ownership. I am very firm in my beliefs on ownership. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm just not gonna do that. Now the new generation of gamers, coming up now that grew up, starting off on an Xbox 360 or something, or PS3, it makes sense to them. I would think, I think getting up and swapping discs in a console is like, almost death to them. It's like it's killing these kids out here. But for me, it's like I need to have the hardware. I need the games. I need to be able to, if I want, swap games, trade them, all of that good stuff. I needs that power, man. I needs that, you know what I'm saying? I need it, If I wanted to sell a game to get another game, if I wanted to, let me do that. But just buying games digitally like that, man, and I'm stuck with them forever, and all of that stuff, like, nah, I can't do it. But I definitely get the appeal of Google Stadia if you are not a gamer. You know what I mean? And you just want to have something to mess around with, definitely. But I feel like if you're a gamer, I'm not so sure. It's somebody explain to me. I'm not so sure about it. Cause here's the thing too. If I own consoles, I ain't gonna want Google Stadia because I already own the console. I don't want Google Stadia. It doesn't make sense for me to get Google Stadia unless Google Stadia had exclusives that I wanted to play. Then yeah, I would want a Stadia to play those exclusives, right? But if I'm just getting access to the games that I already have, then, and I already got console, then Google Stadia doesn't make sense to me. Even PC, it doesn't make sense. I got access to the games already. I can download them straight from the PSN store or the Xbox store, and play it natively on my hardware without having to connect to the internet in order to play these games. Like it's so many things with Stadia, principle wise, that gets in its own way. And I think that is the issue. Like people are not like, I don't think people are hating on Stadia for the sport of it. I think it's just a lot of principles, just consumer principles that actually gets in the way of Google Stadia, to be honest. But I could be wrong with all of this. I could be wrong. It's just, to me, it's just a lot of this stuff don't make sense. To buy games that you don't own and then you have to stream them in order to play them. And so all of this stuff is contingent on a good enough internet connection. It's just too many variables, bro. Way too many variables when it comes to game streaming. But I do get the appeal. I see the convenience. I see it. It work. I can see how it could work for some people. And like I said, it's very impressive technology. I will say that without a shadow of a doubt. Like, this is some impressive stuff I just experienced. That's real. Got friends lists, got trophies, just like a console. It's got all of that good stuff, man. Messaging, party chat. It's got all of it. It's got it all. Stadia got it all. And you doing all of that without a console. But in turn, you gobbling tons of data. Tons of data. Holy crap. That data. Shit. 4 gigabytes an hour, that's a lot. That's still a lot. So we talking 4K? 20 gigs an hour? Holy man. It's cringe, bro. Anyways, I'm rambling. 14 minutes is enough. Let me know what you think in the comment section, man. Sell me on Google Stadia. I want you to, if you're a Google Stadia person, man, hit me up on it. Like, get me hip, I'll just give you a little bit tidbit of what my experience with Google Stadia. And I am impressed, yes. But as far as the consumer principal practices of Google Stadia and the service and all of that stuff, I don't know. I don't know. Let me know what's up though, man. Rome, I'm gone.